How is the hypothesis on macro effects of minimum wage hikes in high inflation built, and which economic theories or schools are referenced?
Okay, sure. So basically, in this paper, we are trying to hypothesize that minimum wage increases have complex, interconnected effects on inflation, aggregate demand, unemployment rate, and external trade balance. And we basically assume that in a high inflation economy, developing country economy like Turkey, where the minimum wage is really critical, especially as a social policy tool, because vast majority of the workforce are getting something around minimum wage, if not the exact minimum wage. So we must analyze it in broader macroeconomic impacts. And from a theoretical point of view, we try to ground our analysis in a post-Keynesian or a post-Kaleskian framework, which is, I mean, a heterodox school of thought, as you might be familiar with. And the core of the approach here is that inflation is not simply a monetary phenomenon, but it's also driven by distributive conflict, a struggle between workers and firms. This is not, I mean, very much in line with the neoclassical tradition, to be honest. And our paper also tries to engage heavily with the recent literature on profit-driven inflation or sellers' inflation, so to speak. And we note that several studies on Turkey have found that rising profit markups, especially, not just wage increases, have been a major driver of the recent inflationary spiral.
Okay. Uh, the second question is how the Turkey's 2005 and 2024 monthly data, structure war method, and chosen variable make this study distinct from earlier literature.
Sure. I mean, in the paper, first, we provide a more comprehensive macroeconomic assessment first. I mean, instead of isolating a single relationship or econometric model, the structural VAR, vector autoregression model, it allows us to simultaneously analyze the dynamic impacts of a minimum wage shock on a whole system of variables, bunch of variables, inflation, unemployment, I mean, capacity utilization and trade balance. And that allows us, I mean, better identify the channels through which minimum wage might have an effect on the macroeconomy. And secondly, we also focus on the context of high inflation emerging economy like Turkey, as you know,